Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and today we are on day 362. I am so happy that you're here today, and I hope that your day is going fantastic. I am so sorry for shutting the camera off so quickly yesterday. I need to let you know that the reading was actually finished. I did not stop the reading early. That was the very end of it. So the timing of the person walking in the door, thankfully, was at the very end of the reading. I was just going to have my blah, blah, blah at the very end. You know how I get. So thank you for coming back. We are still on track with the format. Today we're going to be reading 2 Chronicles chapter 33. We are going to be starting Malachi chapter 1, and then we're going to close out our day with John chapter 20, but only verses 1 through 18 today. So we are at the very last three books of this format: 2 Chronicles, Malachi, and John. So let's get started. 2 Chronicles chapter 33. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. He did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight, after the abominations of the nations whom Yahweh cast out before the children of Israel. For he built again the high places which Hezekiah his father had broken down, and he raised up the altars for the Baals, made Asheroth, and worshipped all the army of the sky, and served them. He built altars in Yahweh's house, of which Yahweh said, My name shall be in Jerusalem forever. He built altars for all the army of the sky in the two courts of Yahweh's house. He also made his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom. He practiced sorcery, divination, and witchcraft, and dealt with those who had familiar spirits and with wizards. He did much evil in Yahweh's sight, to provoke him to anger. He set the engraved image of the idol which he had made in God's house, of which God said to David and to Solomon his son, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever. I will not any more remove the foot of Israel from off the land which I have appointed for your fathers, if only they will observe to do all that I have commanded them, even all the law, the statutes, and the ordinances given by Moses. Manasseh seduced Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that they did more evil. Then did the nations whom Yahweh destroyed before the children of Israel. Yahweh spoke to Manasseh and to his people, but they did not listen. Therefore Yahweh brought on them the captains of the army of the king of Assyria, who took Manasseh in chains, bound him with fetters, and carried him to Babylon. When he was in distress, he begged Yahweh, his God, and humbled himself greatly before the God of his fathers. He prayed to him, and he was entreated by him, and heard his supplication, and brought him again to Jerusalem into his kingdom. Then Manasseh knew that Yahweh was God. Now after this, he built an outer wall to David's city on the west side of Gihon, in the valley, even to the entrance at the first gate, the fish gate. He encircled Ophel with it, and raised it up to a very great height. And he put valiant captains in all the fortified cities of Judah. He took away the foreign gods and the idol out of Yahweh's house, and all the altars that he had built in the mountain of Yahweh's house and in Jerusalem, and cast them out of the city. He built up Yahweh's altar, and offered sacrifices of peace offerings and of thanksgiving on it, and commanded Judah to serve Yahweh, the God of Israel. Nevertheless, The people still sacrificed in the high places, but only to Yahweh their God. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh, and his prayer to his God, and the words of the seers who spoke to him in the name of Yahweh, the God of Israel, behold, they are written among the acts of the kings of Israel. His prayer also, and how God listened to his request, and all his sin and his trespass, and the places in which he built the high places, and set up the Asherah poles, and the engraved images before he humbled himself. Behold, they are written in the history of Hosea. So Manasseh slept with his fathers, and they buried him in his own house, and Amon his son reigned in his place. Amon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. He did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight, as did Manasseh his father. And Amon sacrificed to all the engraved images which Manasseh his father had made, and served them. He didn't humble himself before Yahweh, as Manasseh his father had humbled himself, but this same Amon trespassed more and more. His servants conspired against him, and put him to death in his own house. But the people of the land killed all those who had conspired against King Amon, and the people of the land made Josiah his son king in his place. Oh, and we will finish that tomorrow. So this is just a roller coaster ride. There's a song from the 70s, roller coaster. But that's what it is. It's build up God's house and worship and know that he is God. And then somebody comes in and they're like, we're going to worship to the army of the sky and the Asherah poles and this and that. And all right. And then the next one comes in, they tear it down and let's worship the Lord and build it back up. And it just goes on and on and on. Does that sound familiar? Times have not changed, folks. I'm telling you. We can think right now that, everything, this is so terrible. And while there are terrible things going on, none of it is new. It's new to us, but it's not new to history. So let's learn from history and let's make the changes. I will have to stop there. I have a lot more to say about that, but I will stop there. Let's read Malachi chapter 1. A revelation. Yahweh's word to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, says Yahweh. And yet you say, how have you loved us? Wasn't Esau Jacob's brother, says Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob. But Esau I hated, and made his mountains a desolation, and gave his heritage to the jackals of the wilderness. Whereas Edom says, we are beaten down, but we will return and build the waste places, Yahweh of armies says, they shall build, but I will throw down, and men will call them the wicked land, even the people against whom Yahweh shows wrath forever. Your eyes will see, and you will say, Yahweh is great, even beyond the border of Israel. A son honors his father, and a servant his master. If I am a father, then where is my honor? And if I am a master, where is the respect due me? Says Yahweh of armies, to you priests who despise my name. You say, how have we despised your name? You offer polluted bread on my altar. You say, how have we polluted you? In that you say, Yahweh's table is contemptible. Let me read that again. Verse 7. You offer polluted bread on my altar. And you say, how have we polluted you? In that you say, Yahweh's table is contem- contemptible. When you offer the blind for sacrifice, isn't that evil? And when you offer the lame and sick, isn't that evil? Present it now to your governor. Will he be pleased with you, or will he accept your person? Says Yahweh of armies. Now please entreat the favor of God, that he may be gracious to us. With this, will he accept any of you? Says Yahweh of armies. Oh, that there were one among you who would shut the doors, that you might not kindle fire on my altar in vain. I have no pleasure in you, says Yahweh of armies, neither will I accept an offering at your hands. For from the rising of the sun even to its going down, my name is great among the nations, and in every place incense will be offered to my name, and a pure offering, for my name is great among the nations, says Yahweh of armies. But you profane it when you say, Yahweh's table is polluted, and its fruit, even its food, is contemptible. You say also, behold, what a weariness it is, and you have sniffed at it, says Yahweh of armies, and you have brought that which was taken by violence, the lame and the sick. Thus you bring the offering. Should I accept this at your hand? Says Yahweh. But the deceiver is cursed, who has in his flock a male, and vows and sacrifices to the Lord a defective thing. For I am a great king, says Yahweh of armies, and my name is awesome among the nations. I love this. Verse 9. Now please entreat the favor of God. In my notes, the Hebrew word rendered God is Elohim. Elohim. Some say Elohim. Oh, I love that translation. All right. John chapter 20, verses 1 through 18. Here we go. Okay, so now on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene went early, while it was still dark, to the tomb, and saw that the stone had been taken away from the tomb. And therefore she ran and came to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and said to them, They have taken away the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have laid him. Therefore Peter and the other disciple went out, and they went toward the tomb. They both ran together. The other disciple outran Peter and came to the tomb first. Stooping and looking in, he saw the linen clothes lying there, yet he didn't enter in. And then Simon Peter came, following him, and entered into the tomb. He saw the linen clothes lying, and the cloth that had been on his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but rolled up in a place by itself. So then the other disciple, who came first to the tomb, also entered in, and he saw and believed. For as yet they didn't know the scripture that he must rise from the dead. So the disciples went away again to their own homes. But Mary was standing outside at the tomb weeping. So as she wept, she stooped and looked into the tomb, and she saw 2 angels in white sitting, one at the head and one at the feet, where the body of Jesus had lain. And they asked her, Woman, why are you weeping? And she said to them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I don't know where they have laid him. When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing, and didn't know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, Woman, why are you weeping? Who are you looking for? She, supposing him to be the gardener, said to him, Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." And Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him, "Rabboni," which is to say, "Teacher." Jesus said to her, "Don't hold me, for I haven't yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord, and that he had said these things to her. Oh, what a beautiful scene, because they had followed Jesus for so long. They invested so much of their life and belief in him. And while they can believe his words, to have him crucified, I have to admit for myself, I don't know that my belief would have carried me through the next couple days. I think I would have been very much like Mary, and just knowing he had died, and now his body's gone, and now I'm looking for him, not even imagining that he would be standing there right in front of me because he died, right? Oh, and then when she recognizes him, "Teacher." Oh, I love it. Thank you for coming by today. Have the most wonderful day today, and come on back for tomorrow. We only have, a couple days left, folks. Come on back for tomorrow, which will be day 363. Have the best day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.